Hi everyone, and welcome back to a new Gemini video. And this time it's the banana video, and this is the new Nano-Banana Gemini native image generation model that has been released yesterday. And I wanted to walk you through a number of examples and prompts to see how good it is, but also what are the limitations and what you should be aware of at this stage. So once you connect to your Google AI Studio, you'll see this prompt, or you can see it under the media with the Gemini native image itself. And this is where basically you can start prompting it. So it's a text to image model, but you can have certain capabilities available here. So the official name itself is Gemini 2.5 Flash Image Preview, aka Nano Banana, which is quite fast, quite cheap compared to other alternative, especially the one from OpenAI. And you have your temperature here, where basically a complete control of the output results in terms of how creative you want them to be or how exactly you want them to follow your instructions. So the lower the temperature, 0.1, 0.2, etc., it's gonna be less creative and very, very close to what you instructed, and a temperature of 2 would be a more creative room for the model to work with the results. So we're gonna start with the more standard version at 1, and we're gonna see a few results. So all of the tests we're gonna do today are going to be focused around the theme of the Falcon, because one, it's exciting. Two, it's not quite easy for AI models to work with this type of bird. There are certain details that they can miss, and it's a good example to test how far they can take it. So the whole thing with prompting here is to be very, very, very specific on the scene, the context, and the details you want to come up. If you just put, hey, I need a falcon sitting on a tree, yeah, they're gonna give you a falcon sitting, but you're gonna miss all the aha moments and wow effects when you are trying to have that impressive output in terms of color balance, in terms of structure, in terms of details, in terms of position, lighting, etc. So you can see here, for example, a photorealistic extreme close-up shot. So it's a close-up shot, meaning it's very close to the subject. I'm putting here my subject. I'm describing the position perched. The branch here is mossy, its head slightly tilted. The scene is illuminated by soft diffused morning filtering, morning light, captured with the macro lens. So to work with the close-up shot, we need a macro lens or a zoom lens with a shallow depth of field, emphasizing the patterns and the texture of the feather, the sharp beak, the delicate water droplets because it's still humid, etc. So you can see the details here are quite precise, and this is the rendering I want to run. And one of the key attributes of this new model is how fast it is compared to the current state. And there you go. It was basically around, yeah, 9 seconds in total between both. And you get your view. Let's zoom in. You can see the details. We have even the drops here of rain, the beak, the reflection on the eyes, the feather. Look how realistic is that. Even like all the details, the most as we requested, the depth of field itself, etc. So this is quite a good first starting point. Now, You can take it further from there, but we can also think of other modalities of using this model. The second one, for example, is a sticker output still with the Falcon theme. Again, we need that precision. In this case, a neo-traditional tattoo style sticker, a stooping falcon, geometric patterns, a muted palette of earthy browns, grays, and cream, and the eyes are electric blue. And because it's a sticker, we mentioned that the background must be transparent, and we launch it away. And in a few seconds, we're gonna have our result. And this is something basically you can use on your own and then print it and customize your object. And you can see here, this is quite literally good because one, it is stooping. You can see the blue colors on the eyes. The color palette is quite on point, and same for the boundaries around the sticker. So they're not exactly around the tattoo itself, but you have more background space, and this is what then you can use later on to work with your tattoo. And you can have a different variation if necessary. Now, our third example would be a logo for your brand, for your clothing brand or your new startup, etc. And it works the same way. The more precise your prompt, the better it is. Here, it's a luxury brand called Airi. And you can see we have the focus first on the logo, and then we add the text itself. The design should be minimalistic and sophisticated Art Deco style with a color scheme of deep charcoal gray, metallic gold, and ivory. That's it. Here, it's much, much better than saying, okay, I need a logo with an eagle, or I need a logo with the falcon, or a minimalist and very generic type of instruction. You can see here how it looks like. We have that charcoal gray, metallic gold, and ivory, Irie Apparel, nice fonts, and the creative borders around the eagle itself. And one way I'm using this is first to start with some brainstorm. So I vary my prompts to really see what visual is more appealing to me. And then from those, once I picked, for example, this logo format, I start recrafting and fine-tuning basically the prompt to say, okay, maybe we need to remove the borders. Maybe you need to work on a different font, etc., etc. Now, another example is the studio photographs of product photography, basically, where you can also ask this model to provide some really interesting outputs. And in this case, we're gonna use a dark brown leather falconry gauntlet. This is basically the glove you see on the people who are training falcons. And same again, we go with the camera angle details, the lighting details, the texture of the glove, etc. I'm putting in also the aspect ratio. Sometimes it works, sometimes it's not. So bear that in mind. And let's see what would this result look like based on this initial prompt. And you can use these actually also to play around with, even as templates, and you just switch your input based on this. So you can see here, this is a quite realistic glove leather rendering. We have also the wood background that is really nice. We have the logo on the eagle, the shadows themselves. And this is quite good for a starting point. You can even push it further with a much longer, much precise prompt. Then we can take it further inside, for example, single object with a minimalist background. For example, here, it's just the focus on the falcon feather. And the specific instruction is that this is gonna be a falling feather with an empty gray canvas to really create some negative space and emphasize the feather look directly. And we can see here, there you go. We have it. We have the falling. There's some motion and blur around. We have the real nice shape, and you can even see the details, etc. We have the gray background, as we mentioned, and it's quite interesting how you can work from there and bring additional creative outlets from that single object. Now, to test another way, let's see the comic panel style. So this is a comic ink watercolor style output with the Peregrine Falcon at velocity speed dive with a cliff in the background, to convey that speed and height and altitude with the text apex. And there we have it. This is really awesome to see how good those colors are, the effect of the speed itself, etc. You can see, there you go. We have the apex, we have the borders like proper comic, we have all the effects around the speed and the dive and the motion, and this is really nice. So you can imagine what you can bring with this type of consistency in terms of output. Now, to finish, we have another attribute of this Gemini model, which is working with an existing photograph that you would like to adjust, edit, and update. And in this case, let's use a Falcon photo, this one, for example. And the prompt would be using this provided image of the Persian falcon on the tree branch to only change the wooden branch into cold industrial steel girder covered in rivets. Everything else needs to stay the same. So basically here, we're like using a Photoshop equivalent without all the work, only with those instruction, at least on a basic level, on a very fast level, to see what are the different ways based on an original photo you can start to tweak it, improve it, remove some object, and reposition, etc. And you can see here we have these two. You can see even the positions are almost the same. We have even the rain dots that we had from before falling on his feathers, and we have the steel replacement that is available here. So this is really fun to play with. Go ahead and start working with. You can see my prompts directly in this chat, and let me know if you have questions or how does it work for you. And see you in the next video.